Here we go, UFC Abu Dhabi Best Bet Show. I gave you the picks, but I'm going to tell you right now, picks really don't mean jack shite, okay? Put your money where your mouth is, and that's what the bets are all about. Because I could pick a dude to win. Does that really mean I'm going to bet on him? Probably not. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes I like the underdog for the bet because you got to look at value. Value. That's what we're doing here. I'm going to give you a money line, a parlay, a round prop, and a prop bet, in addition to the DFS plays, which have been absolutely killing it. Didn't get you all the bets, though. If you want all the bets, there's a link down in the description. I will mention it later. That's where you can get every single one of my bets. These are just a few. I think I got 5 money lines, couple parlays, like 5 or 6 props, 3 round props or something like that. So you're just getting a little taste of what I got on this card. I think I got like 16, 17 units loaded up on this card. So I feel okay. I feel okay about this card, man. I mean, I'm not wearing it right now, but, the Arab cosplay we got going on for the Abu Dhabi card, for the Saudi Arabia card, done it twice, had a winning week both weeks. We're bringing it out tomorrow. I'll be wearing it tomorrow for the fight, so we could go 3-0 with the, don't know what they call it, and I'm even not going to try to say what they call it, but you'll see tomorrow. You'll see tomorrow if you follow me on IG. Let me just say that this poster is disgusting. Whoever made this poster, they need to be fired. Little to no effort at all. It almost looks like a kindergartner put it together. Crazy stuff, but let's get into it. We're going to recap the Best Bet show in total. Last week, we took an L. We took an L because we had faith in Molly McCann, and that did not work out well. I think we lost the money line on Martian Prachnio as well. That was an L. But either way, we lost 1.6 units last week. So if you want to tail, go ahead. If you don't want to tail, don't tail. Just letting you know, this is the record. It's all out there. We're down on the Best Bet show, so maybe don't tail. But the week before that, we did crush it. Let's get into it. Moneyline Bet. We're taking Rolando Bedoya on the money line. Plus 130. I got it at plus 130. I think it's like plus 115 right now. Only got a unit on it. It's a dog shot on a money line. I think mostly dogs again this week for me for the money line bets. Usually not a guy that bets money line chalk, especially if it's like minus 200 or higher. But either way, Rolando Bedoya, money line. Couple reasons. I think he's got a durability edge. I think his ability to take a punch is a lot better than Jai Herbert's. I think he's got a lot more volume on the feet. And moving down a weight class, I hope his chin can hold up moving down a weight class. He looks a lot better than this picture. Let's just say that. This is him at 170. Him at 155, you can at least see a couple abs. He looks a little bit better. He's down a weight class. I think that's a good move for him. I think he could maybe even have a grappling edge. I mean, trains that shoot the box, I would assume his BJJ is pretty damn good. We haven't been able to see that in the UFC, but I do think he could probably grapple up Jai Herbert if he needs to. But on the feet, he's got a lot more volume. I think he's more durable. I think he should be able to win this fight via decision just based on output. And then, Jai's pretty chinny. Jai ain't the best grappler, so the finish could be there as well. I'm just taking him on the money line. Plus 130 for a unit. Give me Rolando, Chad Doya. Got to get some facial hair there, brother. You're looking a little young. Youth edge as well. Didn't mention that, but he's got the age advantage. Much younger. Brings us to the Underdog Fantasy. Take a look on the screen. These are some past winners. Just a nice little 10x winner right there. Nice little 20x winner. And then, these are the ones that we really try to go in on. The 3x winners. Because this is where you make your money consistently, and these are just a little bit extra. Those are some past winners. Last week we went 4-1 or 4 out of 5 on the 5-legger. Nearly cashed another 25xer, which would have been nuts. Arnold Allen went over by 5 significant strikes. Otherwise, we would have cashed it. That sucks. But either way, we're back with it again. Underdog Fantasy available in all these yellow states, including Canada, except for Ontario. So if you want to get these plays in that are on the next slide, download the app, use the code HAGI for a deposit bonus up to $250, and you can put these plays in. So, as I mentioned, the 3x payouts, these are the ones that we're trying to hit consistently. And then I rarely do 3-leggers, but I put this 3-legger together last night, And I loved it. I loved it. Okay. Elvis Brenner would be stupid to be shooting takedowns against Yoel Alvarez because Yoel has very good jiu-jitsu, and I think Elvis Brenner has a striking advantage on the feet. Yes, he's the smaller guy, but I think he hits harder. I think he's got more dog in him, and I think he just keeps moving forward. So I don't think he needs to grapple, and I think if he does grapple, that would be a dumb mistake. So for his line to be set at 2.5 takedowns, I got to go with the lower. I got to hope he's got some fight IQ. And even if he doesn't, if he slips up and gets 1 takedown or 2 takedowns, we still got some wiggle room. That was a boosted play for the time being. So lower on Elvis Brenner. Davis and Figueiredo, very high on Figgy to get 2 takedowns this week because Cheeto ain't the best at stuffing takedowns. And Figgy has used his ground game at 135. That's probably one of his best attributes at 135 because 135, that big right hand ain't hitting the same. And I think he's got to mix in his wrestling here. So just to get 2 takedowns, I like that. And the same thing here. Lupi Godinez would be stupid, would be unbelievably stupid to be shooting takedowns against Mackenzie Dern because she has a striking advantage. She's the better boxer. Why would you need to go to the ground with Mackenzie Dern where you're playing into her game of jiu-jitsu? There's no reason Lupi Godinez should be shooting takedowns. So we take her lower than 2.5 on there. We also got Davison on the 5-legger right here. We got Lupi under 1.5 right there because they moved the line, but I still like it. I don't think she should be getting 2 takedowns. Okay. I actually looked, and Mackenzie Dern has only been taken down twice in her UFC career. I think 2 out of her fights. So people aren't trying to take her down. There's no reason Lupi should be doing that. Then we got Tony Ferguson lower on significant strikes, 28.5. Michael Chiesa's opponents have gone under 28.5 significant strikes in 11 straight fights. Why is that? Because Chiesa is a wrestler. He's not going to stand there and strike with you. He's going to grapple you. So Tony can't be landing strikes off of his back. And we all know that this fight could end early because Michael Chiesa likes getting Darce choked, and Tony ain't exactly fighting out of the submissions anymore, so he could get subbed himself. So we got upside for the early finish. Kyle Fernandez, higher on significant strikes. This is a play because I think Yaya is fairly hittable on the feet. Fernandez is a guy that throws a lot of leg kicks. That's how you rack up a lot of significant strikes, throwing leg kicks, throwing jabs. And I think the fight goes later. I don't think that there's an early finish. I just don't see an early finish. I don't think Fernandez is really that powerful. If you look at his knockouts, they're a head kick and a kick to the body. You can't really keep that up, in my opinion. Knocking dudes out with head kicks and kicks to the body. I don't think Yaya is going to fold to anything, anything crazy. So I think the fight probably goes later, and I think he racks up at least 40, if not 50, maybe even 60 if it goes to a decision. And then I like Yoel Alvarez, higher on significant strikes. Why? Because I think Brenner's not going to be shooting takedowns. I don't think Alvarez has a good wrestling game to get him to the ground. And I think Alvarez can pop the jab out there. And Elvis Brenner's a very hittable guy on the feet. I think Alvarez should be able to rack up a bunch of significant strikes for as long as the fight lasts. And I do think this fight could possibly go to a decision because Brenner's very tough. And Alvarez, not a guy that gets finished all that often unless your name is Arman Sarukian. So I like his over on significant strikes there. We've covered that one. Jai Herbert, taking him over on significant strikes because Bedoya gets hit a lot, but he also throws a lot. So I think it's probably going to be a high volume striking match. He should be able to get 50. And then I'm taking Gaziev higher on significant strikes as well. Mays is tough. Dontel Mays is tough. He's very hittable as well, especially in the clinch. And I think if Gaziev does get the fight to the ground, he can land some ground and pound on him as well. So I like him to go over on significant strikes as well. Those are the plays on Underdog Fantasy. I will leave a link down in the description so you can download the app, use the code, get your deposit bonus, and lock these in. Let's move on to the round prop. As I said earlier, I think this fight goes later. I was very surprised that this fight was set at a 1.5 round line, so I took advantage of it. I'm taking over 1.5 rounds at minus 150 for 1.5 units to win 1 unit back because Yaya has gone over 1.5 rounds. I think his last 5 or 6 fights. He's not a guy that overextends himself. He's just a pretty patient kickboxer, a guy that likes to counter strike. Fernandez, on the other hand, like I said, those head kicks and body kicks, knockouts, I don't think are easily replicated, especially at the UFC level. And then three out of his last 5 fights went to a decision. I think the fight probably could make it to a decision, but I'm taking the over 1.5 rounds here just because I don't think either guy is that dangerous on the feet. I don't think either guy is chinny by any means. They're still fairly young. They can take a punch, and I don't think either guy's going to just quit on himself. So it's only 7.5 minutes. I don't think this fight ends within the first 7.5 minutes. Might be a sweat, we'll see, but I'll take it minus 150 all day, 1.5 units there. From here, I'll ask you to join the Home of Fight Picks Premium Discord. We're positive 23.63 units. There was a small loss last week. Happens. It happens when you bet on Molly McCann. But within this package, you're going to get UFC, PFL, and Dana White Contender Series. Dana White Contender Series is starting, I think, in 2 weeks. It's coming up. It's in the month of August. Middle of August is when it starts. There's 10 straight weeks, Tuesday fights. Those are big. We'll have bets on those. PFL is back in action for 3 straight weeks starting tonight. That's been a cash cow for us. PFL has been a good cash cow for us. And UFC every week, of course. Link is down in the description to join that. That's where you're going to get every single one of these bets. UFC, PFL, Dana White Contender Series. Join up. And that's where you get access to the bets first. The DFS bets first. Should say that. Move on to a parlay. We're taking the over 2.5 rounds in both of the women's fights. Could be square, but I think it hits. Man. More often than not, I'm going to lean the over on a women's MMA fight. And when I look at these two matchups, I think it's pretty fair to say that these fights both go to decision. I think Dudakova, not heavy-handed on the feet. Sam Hughes is tough. Sam Hughes is not heavy-handed on the feet. And Dudakova, young, tough as well. I just don't see any way that this fight gets ended by a finish unless there's an injury or some type of fluke submission. And even then, I just don't see either one wrapping something up. Sam Hughes is good cardio. Maybe she could take over late. But her only finish in the UFC comes after 2.5 rounds. So we're covered there. Other fight, Dern versus Godinez. Lupi's never been finished. Mackenzie Dern is unbelievably tough. It took Jessica Andrade 4 knockdowns to get her out of there. She's unbelievably tough. She should have been knocked out by Amanda Lemos, but she just takes it, man. She takes it. She has the ability to stall on the ground as well. She's probably working towards some type of submission, but it does take her a while to get that going. I don't think she's going to submit Lupi. I don't think Lupi's going to knock her out. And I just see this fight probably going to a decision as well. So put those two together, over 2.5 rounds for both these fights. Minus 141 for 2.82 units to win 2 units back. Lupi Godinez, Mexican. I had to use the button. I forgot to do that last time. Chiwiwis, baby. Chiwiwis. From now, we move on to the better picks. Some past slips. A lot of green. Better Picks is available in all these purple states. I think I got to update this map, but either way, check the available states map. Use the code HeyJob for a deposit bonus up to $250 on Better Picks. This is where you're going to get all of these lines. Good lines, too. A lot of options, some boosted plays. Another app that is very, very profitable for DFS. At least we have shown for it to be very profitable for DFS. And once you do that, there's a link down. There's the updated map. There's a link down in the description to download the app. And once you do that, you're going to put these plays in. Victoria Dudakova. As I said, I think the fight's going to decision. I think she should be able to get 55, 60 significant strikes throughout 3 rounds. She got 73 against Jinyu Frey in her last fight. I think she should be able to get at least 60 in this one. Same thing for Dern. I don't think Lupi's going to be shooting takedowns, so it's probably a stand-up battle. And I think Dern she's a fairly high-volume girl. She's aggressive on the feet. She might not look, the most coordinated doing it, but she throws and she lands. So I think she should be able to go over 45.5 significant strikes there. That's a 2-legger. We already talked about Alvarez. I think Tululin goes over as well. He's a guy that's going to throw. He's going to throw, and Dumas is a guy that can get hit. And I don't think Dumas has the greatest finishing upside. I think Tallulah maybe knows that, and he's going to go for broke. He's going to try to knock him out. I think he could rack up 20, 25 significant strikes in the first round just by going for it. He's very tough as well. He's not chinny. He's very hittable as well. So I think this could be a scrap that goes into the second, maybe the third round, maybe even to a decision. I think Tallulah should be able to go over on a significant strike total there. We talked about Figure already. Bedoya over on significant strikes. We kind of mentioned that with the Jai Herbert line. Also taking him to go over 60.5. His first 2 UFC fights, he went over 100. And sometimes that puts me off a little bit, but I have confidence in it. I still think it's just too good of a number not to play. So 60.5 over on Bedoya. And here's the 8-legger. We pretty much talked about all these, but $100 pays out 10 G's. Betr Picks has the best payouts, the best multipliers out there. You can win up to 1,000x your money. We do the 8-legger for 100x to win 10K. Once again, all these plays will be posted in my free Telegram after this video drops. That's where you can look at these so you don't have to come back to this video. But download the app, lock them in, and let's make some money. Lastly, we're going with a prop bet, and you can roast me in the comments if you want, but is Umar Nurmagomedov going to lose in Abu Dhabi?
No way. No way.
No way, brother. No way, brother. And I normally give you a plus money prop bet, but I gave you a plus money line, so I think that's fair. I'm taking Umar Nurmagomedov by submission or decision at -200. I'm putting 2 units on it, man. I think he is the truth. And I look at this as he's already proven himself to be extremely dominant in the UFC, whether that's winning by submission, by KO, or just a dominant decision. I think his grappling is off the charts. I don't think Corey has ever faced a type of grappler like him, and maybe you could say Aljamain is a level of grappling of Umar, and Aljamain subbed him in the first round. Corey's problem is he doesn't have the heaviest of hands, and I don't think he's going to be able to win minutes. I think he's probably going to be able to win some moments, maybe. We'll see. But I think Umar can stay to the outside, use his kicks, use that push kick to keep him at distance, force him to cross the void, and once he crosses the void, level change, and get in on the takedown. And his takedowns are unbelievable. Very good top pressure as well. Really good ground and pound when he's on top. So I think he wins the minutes. If it goes to a decision, he wins the decision. And I do think there's a possibility that Umar could find himself on the back, sinking in a nice little rear naked choke, and get the submission. So that's why I'm playing Umar sub or decision. -200 for 2 units. Umar getting it done. Cousin Umar. Lastly, you want to join the free Telegram. There's a link down in the description as well. I mentioned it earlier, but I'll post all those DFS plays in here as well as the free pick. So stay tuned for that. Join the Telegram. It's free. If maybe you have to download the Telegram app, that's free as well. But just some more free game for you. But appreciate you. Best Bet show in the books. Now we go back to the casino. We put in some more degenerate bets that I will also throw in the free Telegram as well. And we wake up in the morning and we watch some fights. Kind of midday. It's like noon start here in Florida. But appreciate y'all. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Until next time, hey, Jai Picks.